Michael sat alone in a small apartment in a quiet American city while rain fell softly outside the window. It was almost midnight, and the only light in the room came from his phone screen resting beside a pile of unpaid bills. His bank account was nearly empty, his heart felt heavy, and for the first time in years he whispered, "God, where are you?" Maybe you have asked that same question before. Maybe you smile in front of people while secretly fighting battles nobody knows about. Maybe you have prayed night after night and nothing changed, and slowly a painful thought entered your mind. What if God stopped listening to me? But before you leave this message, listen carefully, because there is a reason you are hearing this tonight. Michael walked slowly toward the window and stared at the cold city lights outside. He remembered when life used to feel hopeful, when faith felt easy, and when he believed everything would work out. But now everything felt broken. He had lost his job 3 months earlier, his girlfriend left him, and his friends slowly disappeared. Every morning felt harder than the last, and every night he asked God the same question: why is this happening to me? What Michael did not realize was that God often works in silence. Sometimes heaven is quiet, not because God abandoned you, but because he is preparing something you cannot see yet. The Bible tells the story of Joseph, who was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, and forgotten in prison. Imagine how confused Joseph must have felt praying every night without seeing any answer. Years later, Joseph realized something powerful. The pit was not punishment, it was preparation. Maybe your pain is preparation too. Maybe this season is building a stronger version of you and preparing you for something bigger than you can imagine right now. Michael sat back down and noticed an old, dusty Bible lying on the table. He stared at it quietly and whispered, "What's the point anymore?" But deep inside, something told him to open it. Slowly, he opened the Bible, and the first verse he saw said, "Be still and know that I am God." Tears filled his eyes, because for months he had been trying to carry every burden alone. Maybe you are doing the same thing. Maybe you are carrying stress, fear, anxiety, heartbreak, and disappointment by yourself. But God never asked you to carry it alone. Sometimes we think faith means pretending to be strong, but real faith is trusting God when you feel weak. Real faith is believing that God is still working even when life makes no sense. That is difficult, especially when prayers seem unanswered and everybody else appears happy while you feel stuck. But delay does not mean denial. Sometimes God delays blessings because he is protecting you from the wrong timing. There are doors God closed because he saw things you could not see. And there are people God removed because he knew they would hurt you later. One day you may even thank God for the things that did not work out. Outside, the rain became heavier, while Michael closed his eyes and stopped asking, "Why me?" Instead, he prayed, "Lord, what are you trying to teach me?" That prayer changed everything, because pain can either destroy a person or transform them. Often the strongest people are created during the darkest seasons of life. Look at Jesus Christ himself. Rejected, betrayed, mocked, and crucified. People looked at the cross and believed the story was over, but 3 days later, everything changed. If God can bring resurrection after death, then he can bring hope back into your life too. Your story is not over. God still has the final word. Not fear, not depression, not anxiety, and not your past mistakes. Michael wiped away his tears and looked out the window again. The rain had finally stopped, and for the first time in months, the city lights no longer looked cold. They looked peaceful. His problems had not disappeared overnight, but something inside him had changed. He finally understood this truth. God may not change your situation immediately, but He will give you strength while you walk through it. So if you feel tired tonight, pray one more time. If you feel broken, trust one more time. If you feel forgotten, remember this. Jesus Christ still leaves the 99 to find the one, and that means He has never stopped searching for you. No matter how far you have fallen, how broken you feel, or how many mistakes you have made, His love is still reaching toward you right now. So before this message ends, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and hear this in your heart. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And with God, even the darkest night can lead to a beautiful morning.